Hi, Gemini. It's Regina here at Tarot and Time. Let's talk about the month of July. And there's a lot going on for you this month. Now, first of all, big news is that Uranus, the wow planet, the planet of divine intervention, the planet of divine insight, often pictured as a lightning bolt ruling the sign Aquarius, will move into your sign this month. And it's going to stay with you until 2033. So this is going to be a huge time for you to learn new things, to let your authentic self come out and play. There's a lot of themes about personal freedom, and you may make sudden decisions, especially if you feel like your wings are clipped. And Gemini, you do not like that. You like freedom of movement. You are associated with a lot of movement. And so you may find that you make sudden decisions. And, you know, we want to make sure they're well thought about, but we do know things can just show up like this. And they can also be sudden opportunities. So this can be a really good thing for you, Gemini. Now, Uranus will retrograde back into the sign of Taurus in November to like April. And Taurus was the worst spot for it. So it's going to do a lot better in Gemini, and you're going to have to get used to it. Okay. So Venus is going to move into your sign July 4th, and it'll be there almost the whole month until July 29th. So that's going to be a lovely thing for you. When Venus shows up close to sun signs, so if you're a Gemini sun listening to this and you have Venus there, you know, that's often when love shows up. So this is a really great thing. There's a lot of social energy. Things can just show up out of the blue. Especially love can show up through friendships, or like maybe a friend that you feel like you have more feelings for, or maybe like a friend sets you up with somebody. There's a lot of that kind of energy in the air. Now, if you're a Gemini rising, you're going to have Venus sitting right on your rising sign, which is a great thing, just kind of pushing forward, leading off your life right now. With Venus, the harmonizer, the relationship planet, and it also is associated with your wallet. So this is a good thing. Now, we also have, well, you have a trine with Pluto going on for a very long time. So that will help bring in the change that you need. But this is the month that we go into Mercury retrograde, and Mercury is your ruling planet, and it's going to be retrograding through the sign of Leo. This starts on the 18th of July through August 10th. So you know the drill. No major purchases, no major decisions. We want to observe and take notes. We have tons of planets retrograded. Saturn, Neptune, Mercury, Chiron. I know I'm missing one in there too. But go back and listen to the July month ahead to get all the details on that. Now, you also have a square going on with Mars, the planet of act in the mutable sign of Virgo. You're a mutable sign, Gemini, so you make a square 90-degree angle, which is considered a challenge. This will be from June 17th until August 6th. So if you need to get some things done with ease, do it before the 17th of the month. And then, the retrograde starts on the 18th. So the first few weeks of the month will be the smoothest ones for you. You have a square with Saturn and Neptune. Once they retrograde back into Pisces, that won't be for a while. So right now you have a sextile, a positive aspect with these planets in the sign of Aries. And you also have a sextile, another positive aspect with the Leo new moon and Mercury, your ruling planet, hanging out in Leo. So the beginning of the month, again, much smoother time for you. The moon does move into your sign of Gemini on Sunday, July 20th at 6:22 a.m. through Tuesday the 22nd at 8:26 a.m. So that'll kind of be in between like the really easy part of the month for you. Then your moon in your sign kind of transitions you into some of the little bit more challenging parts of the month. All right, Gemini. So a lot going on. Let's see what you need to know. We're going to start off with a couple theme cards. I haven't looked at any of these yet, and these are your themes. This is the Herb Crafters Tarot. I've got the wonderful Relative Tarot. I also have the Relative Oracle, and I'm working with the New Visions Tarot. Kind of want like a nice old school tarot deck. This is like the Rider-Waite, but from a different angle. Okay, so we'll see what we get. So your first card here is the Four of Earth, Willow. And 4 is often considered like a pause number. Earth is pentacles, earth energy. So they're weaving something. There's this willow, they're making a basket. There's a process happening here using available resources. All right, so something is being built here, Gemini. Having the patience, which I know I'm a Gemini moon. We're not known for patience. Now, your second card is the Sun card. And this looks like a fun card. It looks like he's got a glass of champagne maybe, and there's a lot of joy here. And this is a Leo card, and we're going to be going into Leo season this month. And we know Mercury, your ruling planet, is in Leo. So there's a lot of visibility here. We've got the Emperor card, and it's kind of cool, this deck, because you get to see like the back of the throne of the Emperor, and you can see him carved into the stone, and there's a turtle back there, and you can see all of his people in front of him. And so the Emperor is the boss. So you've got a card of visibility next to the boss, next to some work in process here. It looks like a lot of work kind of cards going on for you. The Emperor's also a 4. He doesn't rush into decision making. The Sun almost feels like taking a little break from work, like you're working hard, then hopefully you get a little break. See what your oracle is. It's the Coward card. Look at that. It's funny. Okay, so there's the Coward card. Interesting. So let's see, what is that Coward about? Is that for yourself, or is that regarding someone else? Let's see, is it for yourself, the Ace of Pentacles, or is it for someone else, the Three of Pentacles with this little timer on? So something about finances, Ace of Pentacles, and something about collaborating with others, and there's a limited time here. So maybe the person, maybe you got some business plans here, but the person seems, I get the vibe that they might be a little bit afraid or not coming through in the timeline that you want. Just see if there's anything else here that we need to know about this. The Seven of Pentacles, like there's a delay here. It's taking longer. Somebody's getting scared about something. What is this about? The Eight of Swords. I think it's about the politics in the news and all the scary talk going on. So if you've been waiting on some money for something, maybe that somebody just got scared. Let's see, is it going to come through? The Four of Air, Lavender. So 4 of Swords, it's being harvested. I think it's just happening slower than you want. Let me just pull one more. Anything else that Gemini needs to know about this? Optimism. Okay, stay optimistic. There may have been a delay with some kind of project that you've been working on. Looks like somebody got a little scared. I do think it's moving ahead. 7 of Wands. Yep, batter's getting up there to bat again. 7 of Wands. Okay, there's a lot going on. So I do think that if there was some work project that was in the midst, there may have been a little bit of a pause. Try to still enjoy the summer, because I do think that it's going to come back to you. And is it going to come back this summer? Imitation. Or is it going to be later? Reflection. Okay, reflection is one of those retrograde words. Is this project that I see that was slowed down going to move forward? Ancestry. It's got a lot behind him. They're all lined up. Is this project going to happen for them? The Hermit. Okay, I think it's just asking you to pause and to be as patient as you can be here. I do think that it's going to come together. I just think that world events have caused a delay here. So just find your peace, take your time, and know that you've got a lot of helpers here looking out for you with the Ancestry card there also. Okay, I'm going to pull a couple more cards with some themes. And what I was doing is pile number 1 was about your career. Pile number 2 is about your home life. Pile number 3 is about your hopes and dreams. And pile number 4 is about your love life. Let's see what we've got going on. So this is for career, and you've got the 3 of Earth, Raspberry. So this is the 3 of Pentacles traditionally. There's a big field wide open. It's lush with berries, but you know that there's a season and you know it's a short season and you have to gather it while you can. So for work, even though we kind of saw work stuff over there, the harvest is coming. Okay. It's just like long awaited for. Now, your home life, you have the Queen of Swords here. And I always think she looks like Kathy Bates. Now, the Queen of Swords is no nonsense. She's a queen in your home life, but she's the queen of the mind. She's not going to take any garbage. And she is very logical. She's like a Gemini queen. Okay. So we've got some precision here. Now, this is for your hopes and dreams. You've got the Knight of Wands, so he's ready to go for it, okay? He feels very protected to move forward. And this is for your love life. And you got the Sorceress card. And so she's a powerhouse. Okay, Sorceress. So let me just pull one more for your love life there. Sorceress kind of doesn't sum it up enough for me. The 10 of Wands and the 3 of Wands. Okay, so this 10 of Wands, he's carrying a lot there. Looks like he's smoking a cigar or something. And the 3 of Wands, thinking about the future. So you definitely, like, if you don't have what you want in your love life, it's almost like invoking it. But it's also showing me that you're working too much. So you got to put some of that down to make space for your love life. Think about where you want to go, what you want to do. If you don't have a love life going on, it's just talking about loving yourself and stopping overworking all the time and getting on with some adventures. Okay. All right, Gemini, interesting cards here. I'm going to move these to the side and I'm going to go week by week here using our cute little Golden Art Nouveau tarot decks. We do have these in stock in Kent, Connecticut. We are working on that online store, so one of these days that will be up and running. And let's see, we know we have technically 5 weeks. So let's begin on the first week, which is 4th of July week. And this is when Venus enters your sign of Gemini. And it's when Neptune retrograde begins. So we start off with the Ace of Cups. It's the cup of satisfaction right there. Not a bad way to start off, okay? As Venus enters your sign. So you should have a great 4th of July week. The 6th, the week of the 7th, 6th, 7th to the 12th, this is when Uranus enters Gemini. This is when Saturn retrograde begins and we have the Sun card. So that's the second time you had it. This is a card of joy, fun. It's a great summer card. So I'm happy to see that there on the 6th. Then we go into the week of the 13th through the 20th. And this is when Mercury retrograde starts. And you have the Queen of Wands here. She's a feisty queen. She wants to go and see and do and live. So make sure you've got your plans straight there during that Mercury retrograde. Now, week 20th through the 20th, this is when the sun moves to Leo, and this is the new moon in Leo week. Here's the 8 of Cups. He's leaving town. Okay, so maybe you've got some plans, but there's some forward movement going on there. Now, the final week of the month, this is when Venus moves into Cancer, so it leaves your sign. And here is the 5 of Cups, okay? So there's some spilled cups there. There's still 2 cups behind them, so there's some kind of change of emotion here, a little bit of sadness. Make sure you're just taking some good care of yourself there that last week of the month. You know, there's so many retrogrades going on, and Chiron retrograde starts that week. So we can be stirred up on some old emotions from the past. Just be there and support yourself, okay? Now, let's roll some dice. And you've got Mars and Cancer in the 9th house. So Mars, the planet of action, in the emotional, watery sign of Cancer in the 9th house, which is the house of Sagittarius, which is the house of foreign travel. That kind of reads to me like renting an Airbnb in a foreign country. That's what or renting, or going on vacation, renting property or something like that in a foreign country, maybe even by the water. Kind of fun. Otherwise, it could be looked at taking action in nurturing matters to help free you up. And that's also with Chiron in retrograde, okay? Now, let me throw some charms. There's a big charm bowl. see what we've got going on for you, Gemini. All right, let's flip. So we got a lot of letters here. Let's see. Try to keep them where they are. And so up at the top, you have a wrench and a music symbol and a bear and a screwdriver and a sun, turtle, the word intuitive, the word here, and a piece of amethyst, which is very calming. All right, so we got some tools there, like you're doing some work. You got the bear there. The bear walks in a circle, right? They kind of go on the same route. You've got the sun shining. You've got this beautiful turtle. It's got his home on his back. And you're next to intuitive, you've got the word here. So make sure you're trusting your intuition. Got the number N34 up at the top. And also, I think is that the scales? I'm not sure what that is. I think that's the scales of justice up there. All right. Now, on the last month of June, you have like this jockey horse, got the owl. All right. You got nothing else going on that week. Got the letter G at the end. Now, what do we see for words? And is this a blank? PR, like prayer hands. Got the word, let's see. Okay. Well, let's see as it comes up as we see it. If you see anybody's names, make note of it. And COO, the word cook. All right. I'm not getting anything else, but maybe as we go along. Okay. The 7th, you have like a dragon. The 8th, you have the letter J and a blank. Okay. So that could be like OJ, or that could be Joe, J-O. On the 10th, you have a moose, an airplane, and a tree of life. A lot of energy there on the 10th. The 11th, you have a little joker, court jester. You have a guitar on the 12th. Over here on the 13th, you got a little teddy bear. You've got a lot here on the 18th. You got a moon, the letter R, infinity symbol. This little guy, I don't know what he is. And what is he? And prayer hands. We saw the word pray. So a lot there on the 18th and 19th of the month. Over here on the 20th, you have the letter O and a letter C, another O, a piano on the 22nd, a guitar, a lot of music stuff. 23rd has a guitar and like these circles linked together. The moon on the 24th, a sailboat on the 25th, the letter H and R, HR between the 25th and 26th. We could see the word hero, H-E-R-O, her, H-E-R. Then we come down here. We have an I on the 28th, a Y between the 29th and 30th. I see the word city. This says St. Christopher protect us on the 30th, a G at the bottom and a P, a little snake and a mermaid. All right. So see if those have any meaning to you, but a lot of activity 10th, 18th, 19th, the whole week of the 20th to 26th is very busy, and even some activity there at the bottom at the last week of the month. I see the word hip and the word gig. All right. Well, see what you see. Please comment. Let me know if you see anything that I missed. And thanks so much for joining me, Gemini.